Hello, welcome to today's topic, which is listen more. And it's quite obvious that listening to somebody or listening to nature or listening to our dogs begins with listening to ourselves. As everything always begins with us and inside us. So, my today's invitation is to listen to yourself more and be really sensitive to your intuition, and you will be closer and closer every single day if you focus your attention on it. When I talk to somebody, I sometimes, quite usually, notice that those people are not listening. Like their body is physically there, but their mind is gone. And sometimes it's already as the conversation starts. Sometimes it's after a few seconds, after a few minutes, and I can feel that they are gone. They just left. And maybe that they stopped listening at the very beginning because even the conversation started because they wanted to hear my opinion or my piece of advice. But then they stopped listening because actually they don't want to hear anything, because they're not ready to change the situation and they don't want to hear any advice. Or I say something and then they're like floating somewhere and wandering in their own world. But I don't want to lose my energy, and I want to keep my energy for myself and for people who will profit from it. When I realized that people stopped listening to me, I either stopped talking and waiting for their reaction, and then it can continue in a way, or I try to communicate it. So I can ask them okay, is it bringing you something that I'm talking to now? Or are you getting some information you wanted? Or did you want to hear something else? Did you need to hear something else? What do you need now? Is it okay for you? Because I can feel that you're not listening now. So what's happening? And you can communicate it, because we are people and we use words, sometimes the same language. So it's so easy to communicate what we want to communicate if we are willing to do it. So just ask the other people. Ask yourself what you need at that time of speaking, what they need. With people who are really close to me, my family and my closest friends, when I am in the conversation and I realize that they are not listening, that they're somewhere else, I'm just saying, you don't listen, you're not listening to me. Like, what did I say? What did I say? And I know this is quite dangerous, because my voice at that time is like the teacher's voice, like, you're not listening to me. Oh, what did I say? But I don't mean it, and usually I start laughing. And they know me, so they know what I mean. And sometimes they say, I'm listening to you. I'm still here. And yeah, I was listening to you. So what did I say? What did I say? And they're saying something, you said that. That's not true. I didn't say that. I didn't use these words. Like, you weren't listening. And there's no sense for me to continue in this conversation if you're not listening. And that's a good point, that sometimes when you say something, the other people can hear something completely, totally, actually different. Because all of us, we have our filters to the world, filters to the words. And we perceive the world and, of course, what other people say in our own way, our specific filters, through the filters we have. So when you are somewhere and there are 20 people, and one of the people says something, a sentence, all of the people, all 20 people perceive something different, a bit different or more different, but different. So when you want to talk to somebody, and for you, and hopefully for him or her, is very important to understand each other, then use the feedback and ask them for feedback. Say something and they ask, can you tell me, what did you hear? How did you understand what I just said? And the other person says something, and you can say, but I didn't mean that. I wanted to say something different. And you can try it again. You can give yourself another try, and then ask again. And ask for such a long time as it's needed to completely understand each other. Because in partnership, in family or business partners, it's quite good when you understand each other, when you're not just thinking what the other probably thought, but ask and answer, just communicate. For some people, it can be easier or otherwise more difficult to communicate with nature, with animals, plants, our dogs, because they don't speak our language. And it can be easier or difficult, it depends. So try it to listen more. First of all, listen more to yourself. Then listen to the nature. Listen to your dogs. Listen to other people. Listen to everything. Just be quiet, be more quiet, and listen more. And with our dogs, they know us. They listen to us so perfectly. And we usually, or sometimes, or more often, it depends on us, don't listen to them. We are not listening to them. Sometimes it's more difficult because they don't speak so loudly, because they don't use words, our language, but they use everything they have. They use their bodies, they use their energy, which is sparkling around them. They use their mimic muscles. They use their eyes. Everybody uses his or her eyes when they communicate. The energy, when you listen to people, you can hear the energy which is rises and gets down, and you can perceive more things than just words. You can look at their face, look at their body, you can non-verbally perceive them. You can catch little tiny things which are sometimes more important even than words. And do the same with the dogs. Just listen to them with everything, every senses, and especially the sixth sense, like your intuition, to be able to understand. Try to understand. Try to understand and listen first, then to react. Like we as people, I feel that we have the tendency to talk more. And as soon as somebody starts talking, we're just thinking about, okay, our next words, our next sentence, our reaction will be. And we are not there. But I dare to say that everybody wants to they don't want to hear your opinion or your advice. Sometimes they do, but it's not the first thing they desire for. And it's your totally presence to be there with them. And everybody can feel it. When you focus on it, you can feel if the other person is there or not. I mean, spiritually, mentally, not only physically. With your dogs, try it, do it. Listen to them more and spend more time on listening to them than to talking to them, than to try to raise them up and influence their behavior. First of all, try to and do your best to listen to them. So our invitation is listen more to yourself, to the nature, to the earth, to animals, to your dogs. And I will be really happy if you share in the comments your experience. So have a nice day. I'm Pavla Rušková and I try to listen more. Bye.